Asylum Justin Malaman for Revolution News here at Toronto. Well, folks, today is the Worldwide Rally, May 20th, and they are holding the Worldwide Rally here at Safeco Park, where the headquarters of the CBC is. But you know what here, folks, is that yes, one thing here for sure is that one of the key notable speakers that actually made a speech earlier is the current mayor candidate Chris Sakosha. But well, of course, he outlined what he will do once he becomes the mayor of Toronto, and also on the other hand, criticizing his political opponent Olivia Chow as well. There's a new revelation that Olivia Chow has a direct tie with the Chinese Communist Party, and she secretly met with the people that are operating the secret Chinese police station here in Canada. But in this episode, see here that, well, aside from that here, folks, is that yes, Olivia Chow had also primarily, yes, said that she is ready to tax. That's her exact quote during the mayoral debate. But you know what here, folks, we're going to be trying to work out and ask some people here why they are here and what they think about the current situation here on the city, plus of course some other issues including the vaccine injury. It's much possible here, folks. So aside from that, we're going to also see how this march will go and what's the turnout of this Worldwide Rally 12.0.
And I can tell you that through intentional mismanagement, and that's saying it lightly, every single year, the city has got a little less fun, a little less safe, a little more are when they have the opportunity. We saw exactly what they intend to do to you during COVID. And now those same actors, and that's what they are because you see them on TV, you see them on government-funded media. So anybody that you see on government-funded media is also government-funded. And what did those government-funded cookie-cutter candidates do for you and your family in the last 3 years? They're all coming up there with their sales pitch. Oh, I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna do that for you. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make the city this. Really? What did you do the last 3 years? They unanimously voted to lock you down. They unanimously voted to close your businesses. They voted to put a mask on your face. They voted to put a thing up your nose. They voted to put a poison in your arms and in your children's bodies. And they threatened you to kick you out of your job, to kick you out of a restaurant, to kick you out of the gym, to lock you down in your home if you don't comply. And now they're on stage trying to give you lip service of how they're going to make your lives so much better and how they're going to make this city so much better. Have you ever seen anything more full of crap in your entire life? For the last 3 years, I've been leading by example. Every time they tried to take one of your rights away, not only was I there on the front lines to just say no, not only was I there to warn you what would happen before it did, but I gave you solutions to every single problem. They brought out mask mandates. I told you about exemptions and gave you exemption cards. They brought out vaccines. I taught you how to get away from them. I taught you notices of liability. I taught you how to get your kids to go mask-free in school. I taught you how to get away with the hotel quarantines. In fact, my video is the reason they got rid of it in this country. So when they try to tell you what they did for you, they did nothing. But what did I do for you? I got arrested 26 times standing up for your rights. And guess what? I get arrested 26 more. Because freedom is the most important thing any of us have. If we don't have freedom, we don't have nothing. And that's not just a tagline. You got a taste of it the last 3 years. And now they tell you, Olivia Chow is the front runner. Olivia Chow, the far radical left communist NDP, she just got 2 separate connections to communist China. We all heard about the secret Chinese police stations operating in our city. Well, she met with the people operating those. Direct connections. Then, everyone talks about experience. Experience. Oh, she's got 40 years in politics. What does that mean? That means she's got 40 years of learning how to live off every single one of you without doing anything for the city. What was her background? What was her experience? Only job she ever had in her life was a sculptor. A sculptor. That's fantastic if I want to make an imprint of Ed's dog. But I don't know how well that's going to be if I want to run a city. What have I done? For the last 20 plus years, I've been in residential planning, development, design, and build. Which means that I had to work in a private sector and actually be successful. Which means I actually had to learn how to manage people, money, and resources. All the while, I had to work with the zoning, development, and building departments of the city. I had to work with every single department. I had to cut through every piece of red tape. And I had to do it on my timeline and my budgetary constraints. So I'm the only person running for mayor that has actual, tangible, relevant experience to do my job and to do it properly. I'm the only candidate that's talking about the 15-minute cities. They're building one right here. Right at the end of the street, you're going to see a big sign in the parking lot that says rezoning. And what does it say? Rezoning for mixed use, residential, commercial, and retail. And then what does it show? It's got almost 600 residences and then a whole bunch of commercial stores. Meanwhile, they only have 450 parking spaces. They don't even have enough parking for the people living there, let alone the people that are going to be going to the stores there. But they do have plenty of bike parking because they don't want you driving a car. They don't want you flying on vacation. They want you on a bike. They want you on a 5-kilometer radius, just like when you were locked down. It's almost like everything they did with COVID was to get you ready for now what they're trying to do with climate change. And nobody's talking about this. The mayor of New York, and I use this because it's a perfect example of what the mayor can do if you get the wrong one in power. The mayor of New York, under the guise of fighting climate change, has benevolently started tracking each and every resident of New York's grocery purchases so they can track your carbon footprint. And we know why. They want to limit your meat consumption. In fact, they just limited meat consumption in all the publicly owned institutions in New York. So when I tell you climate change is about limiting your freedoms, your mobility, and even controlling what you eat, I am not making this up, and I am not exaggerating. This is exactly what it is, and it's happening here and now. And if you elect any one of those other cronies who's not even talking about this, it's going to go on unabated. In fact, what is the #1 problem we have in our country, in our city right now? It's called corruption and waste. And every single one of those candidates has been a hallmark of that corruption and waste for decades, literally decades. They have been part of that problem. And you think they're going to solve that problem, or you think they're going to make it worse? We have tangible platforms that will actually make your lives better. I can explain them to you. I won't just tell you an idea. Oh, I'm gonna make your rent more affordable. No, we're gonna solve the housing crisis. How are we gonna do that? I'll explain to you in 1 minute. And you're gonna be like, wow, this is incredible. It's very simple. And then you're gonna realize that this has been intentionally mismanaged. So how are we gonna bring down housing prices, and how are we gonna make houses more affordable to the vast majority of people who are now homeowners? It's very simple. If you're buying a place for that's cost you $1 million, over 30% of those costs are government taxes, fees, and levies. So we're going to provide.
20 years ago all know what AI does. It puts you out of a job. We know this. We know they're using DigiDogs already in New York. They are getting rid of police officers. We know they've been testing AI in our medical field, and AI can operate with 99.9% efficiency. No errors in medicine when you're getting surgery. AI is already doing this. It's already can read more than a doctor can and diagnose you faster with 88% accuracy. Our doctors are going to be out of jobs, our policemen are going to be out of jobs, and they're sending AI in right now to fight fires.
Treason is a crime in the criminal code. If we do not enforce it, we have no country. Everybody hates Trudeau. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Everybody hates Trudeau. Trudeau must go. Trudeau must go. Trudeau must go. No more World Economic Forum taxing. Investigate the connections of your political elite. Find out who they really listen to. I know. World Economic Forum is taxing everybody. Study the elite the way they study you, and you can change their behavior too. Trudeau must go! 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 ABC is fake news! ABC is fake news! ABC is fake news! It's a completely fake narrative for our friends at birth. Bell Media sucks!
Bell Media headquarters.
Bell Media sucks!
So, can you say sort of see
Media
folks? You may just sort of see here that have a big problem with the mainstream media, as of course you know how the media for these years that for the past 3 years here folks, you see how mainstream media had acted. So folks, you just sort of see here that they actually stopped in front of the Bell Media's headquarters. You just sort of see the current situation.
The media is the virus! 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 Tell the truth! The media is the virus! Tell the truth! Government's connected to the World Economic Forum. Tell the truth! Very, very rich and powerful people who do not including Justin Trudeau, Theresa Tam, Jagmeet Singh, and even Poilievre. They're attending their conferences.
Oh folks, just take a look what was happening from behind me. Yes, protesters merely stopped in front of Bell Media's headquarters to, well, give them a piece of their mind. But you can just sort of see here that the only reason why these protesters actually stopped in front of Bell Media's headquarters is, well, primarily is the mainstream media had been reluctantly spewing the lies for the past 3 years. But aside from that here folks, is that yes, you can just sort of see here that protesters earlier chanting CTV sucks, Bell Media sucks, and tell the truth. But well, of course, aside from that here folks, well also another reason why protesters actually stopped here in front of Bell Media's headquarters is because, well, you can just sort of see here for the past few months how the mainstream media is totally excluding the Toronto mayoral candidate Chris Kosha, who's completely, well, enraged these protesters and demand what Bell Media to actually tell the truth.
2:30 in the afternoon? Oh, but we just saw you lock it like right now.
Constitution of 1867.
Apparently they don't want to tell us why they just locked this thing. This giant thing.
And once we set that precedence, we can go after things like the moon.
Exposing the fake
Every other
news.
piece of legislation
Every day,
that
fake
follows
news
the
gets more fake, gets less believable, gets less
law.
viewers, and loses more money. And takes more of our tax dollars just to stay afloat. We're literally spending like $1 billion of our own money a year to have these fools lie to us. It's that ridiculous. That's how ridiculous.
What is the book around?
The book is about the Freedom Convoy. I'm a freelance photographer, so I cover like the events in Parliament Hill, from beginning to end. That's all for them. In the end, like I end up with a lot of pictures, so I created like a photo story of the event. So you can check it on sadvane.com, sthvane.com, and we are currently running a second print campaign, so you can pre-order a copy of yourself. It's a hardcover book, 160 pages, and thank you so much.
Just inflation! Get rid of our nation! Trudeau must go! Trudeau must go!
Trudeau must go! Trudeau must go! To prison! Trudeau's last treason trial was administered by a man who's been donating to the Liberal Party for...
Let them know. You're on fucking stolen land. Fucking taking shit. I don't give a shit. Like, you guys are fucking, like, sitting there crying around about all this fucking freedom shit. No, you're fighting for all of our First Nations as well. All right, where's the natives? Where's the natives? Because there's no natives. Yeah, sure. I know.
Every variation. So I had a guy all.
I know, yeah, you guys lots of stuff to do. Let's go.
That's so cute. Oh my god, can we take a picture with it?
Can I pick it up?
Folks, the Worldwide Rally 12.0 is now officially over, but you can just literally see here that the crowd is not here, as what primarily they are out there where the Blue Jays is at the Rogers Center. But one for surely, while here at the Simcoe Park where the headquarters of CBC is, people are literally wrapping up and getting ready to leave. But one thing here for sure, folks, from what I have seen in the march today, it was abundantly large crowd and a good turnout. But aside from that here, folks, is that, it is not the kind of, usual typical crowd that you would sort of expect in the usual worldwide rally. And of course, know about the previous ones where there was a massive crowd of people that actually came out for the worldwide rally. But you know what here, folks? One thing here, we shall find out in the next worldwide rally if the crowd will be much more bigger than this or not. But for sure here, folks, is that yes, the key notable speaker today, Chris Acosta, gave a speech, and one of the topics that he touched upon is the 15-minute series and the digital ID. But one of course here, folks, is that yes, aside from that, today the march was pretty much held back as there's some people in the march stop in front of Bell Media's headquarters trying to tell the truth. But of course after that there were speeches, and then at Yangdanda Square same thing happened, speeches occurred. But aside from that, the march actually went pretty much smoothly, even though the factor that there's speeches that delayed the march altogether. For Revolution News, I'm Asilam Dustin Millamor. Hey there, folks, please support my independent journalism by going to donorbox.org/Revolution Freedom Reports. That's donorbox.org/Revolution Freedom Reports. And of course, if you can kick in a buck or two, that will be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much.